So Chelsea and I have been RVing for a couple of years now, and we live at a pretty cool park where we can add things that aren't permanent, and we thought we'd start this flower box for vegetables and also design it in a way to block the wind where we're at because we get a lot of wind. So here's a step-by-step video of how we did it in case you want to do this. So here we are cutting the 6-foot by 5.5 inch pressure treated fence board, basically just cutting off the end, and that's going to produce flower box like this. So I'll do all the steps, but it's pretty basic and hardly any waste. So the first cut is going to be 70 3/4 inches. It doesn't really matter, but I'm trying to get the maximum length. So that line right there to the end of the board is 70 3/4 inches. And it's going to take 10 boards to do the whole thing. Actually 11, because I'm building in a shelf, which I'll show you later. The next cut is going to be the 16-inch end caps and the base. So running through the whole base of this bed is the same size board, and there are 17 total, 3 on the ends and 11 inside, with the thickness of this board spacing out each one all the way through, and I'll show you that later. Next are your 4 legs or box ends, uprights, and those are 38 inches. Okay, next what you're going to do is lay down your legs, get a square, helps to make sure you're square here. What I like to do is use these cut off pieces as a spacer, because my side pieces here, which are going to be the sides, are going to kind of fit in there, so use that to kind of flush it up. And then same over here, make sure you're flush. That's going to be your bottom. So this is going to be the bottom board, which is this board. You're going to make 2 of these, obviously, and then once you get those put together, you'll stand them up and put your end caps on. Next thing you're going to do is put these down. We put on our end caps, and you need a spacer to mimic exactly what you did there. So when that bottom piece goes in, crossed, those will fit. So again, you're going to use your square, and you're going to put those in there. Make sure the leg is square to this board, and screw them in just like that down there. Next thing you're going to do is cut a couple pieces to nail on your bottom boards. What I like to do is flip it over, because it's right here up in your face. You're able to deal with it a little easier. You could also put it on the side, but you're going to put in a couple screws, have your little helper put their vice grips on there, and make sure it's flush again. So your bottom, basically your whole bottom is going to be flush. Okay, so now you have something to nail to. You put your bottom pieces on. And this is where I was talking about we're going to space them using the spacers. So we'll go ahead and put all those pieces on, get them all laid out, and then see where we're at with spacing. So here it is, all spaced out. And the reason you want space is for water drainage and air. So you don't want to make it too watertight. These should open up just a little bit more because it's pressure treated, so when it shrinks it will open up some, and that's okay because it will be lined with filter fabric. Now you'll take what's left over from the legs. These, now I haven't mentioned it yet, but these are 2 by 2 basically, which is really 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. pressure treated. But you're gonna take those and kind of create your false bottom, little air gap below so the water can drain. And I've just cut them, you know, in a way to that they'll be even and there'll be some sort of support there. And I'm just gonna screw those in. I like to have them offset a little bit to give the box an appearance that it's floating, kind of like that. If you look close, you can see them there, but that's how I like to do it. And I just sort of look down through and line it up with this other one here. So it's like roughly a 2-inch offset. I don't really measure it, although you can if you're a perfectionist, but it's not really that important. So go ahead and screw those down in, and then we can flip it over. All right, and here we are with it just about finished. Just gonna add the sides on here, the rest of those boards over there, and we'll do that next. And that's just simple. Just they're already cut to length. Just put them on, screw them on. That's it. And this bottom here will provide plenty of air to get through there. Kind of see that. Plenty of drainage there. So there it is. All right, and here it is finished. Definitely want to take some of these. You can get those on at Lowe's. That's on the list. I think it's a 5/4 by 2 pressure treated, and you'll use those to kind of keep these boards together because they are a little flimsy. And I'll actually probably continue that up, possibly. I'm sure they'll warp a little bit, but you also want to make sure you put in a brace, because when you put that dirt in there, it's going to bow out a little bit, kind of jet out. So I put a little brace in there. I'm gonna kind of toenail it in on each side, hold those together. And then what I've done is made an L shape here, and I gave myself a little shelf. You can do whatever you want with yours, but there it is. To make this shelf though, I just sandwiched it in between 2 boards and used some 2x4s cut off at a 45-degree angle to support it underneath, and screwed it into the wall. Can't see them because they're not there yet, but that's what I did. And so we're gonna get the morning sun here. This bed's facing the east. Probably put things that are not necessarily needing sun all day there, partial sun. And then this bed is facing south, so that will get all day sun. So, and the last step, put in your filter fabric and your brace. So here's the finished product of my flower beds. I added a little bit of mesh here for the peas, a couple flowers to keep the bugs away and do some cross-pollination. And then get some peppers, arugula, garlic, and hoping for broccoli, but not planning on it. We'll see. And then the back side is kind of a little wind blocker type deal, because the wind blows a lot here, so pretty cool. Opened up our little space here. The reason I put this video together is because I had a lot of admiration for it where we're at, and others wanted to know how to do it, and thankfully I film a lot of the things I put together. The only other thing we added was the kitchen garden at the top, which is really easy. Just make a little box and screw it in at the top there. That required 3 extra boards. We also added some tiki torches to the corners to give it a little bit of appeal, and also maybe keep the bugs away outside. The dimensions are 16 inches by 16 inches by 6 feet long, and of course you have the tall backing to block the wind, and that really has worked out great. Of course, some chicken wire if you can scrap some of that from a friend, or just buy some at Tractor Supply. The total picket board quantities is going to be 14. You're going to need 4 of the 2x2x8 foot pressure treated lumber, and then you'll need the 1 inch by 2 inch by 8 foot radius edge for the boards to tie everything together, and of course some screws. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you put one together if this is something you decide to do.